I tried a new gym today. It's called Apex. My coworkers have been begging me to go. Apparently, that's where, well, damn near the whole city goes. Apparently, actually, it's a pretty big place, so like it didn't feel crowded in there, especially because I go around 10 a.m. But the parking lot was packed. You know, at least to what I'm used to. Anyway, overall, pretty exotic fucking place, you know? They got like 4 different rooms. I got lost. I had to ask this dude where the squat rack was. Well, when I asked him, I said, if you were a squat rack, where would you be? And I think that caught him off guard just a little bit. I don't know. I want to assume maybe at first he thought I called him a squat rack. But it clicked and he was like, oh yeah, just go down that corridor. But that kind of goes into one of my points I want to talk about is, you know, when you're in a place like the gym or any other similar environment, everyone in there, they look locked in, fucking pissed off. Everybody looks angry. You look at, you know what, I'm not going to say everybody because, well, I would say 99% of people, when they're working out, they aren't focused on smiling. They're focused on themselves. They're focused on getting pissed off, getting hyped to fucking lift some weights. But that doesn't mean that anybody's pissed off, you know. I had to go up to a couple people today and just ask them, you know, where things were. I'm like, you know, how do y'all wipe down the machines? Where's the paper towels at? And every single person that I approached and talked to, they instantly went from, to, oh yeah, you're just gonna go down that corridor to the left. It's gonna be the first thing on your right. And I was like, cool, you know. I asked another dude. I was like, hey, where's the paper towels? And he was like, you know, once again, same thing. He was sitting on the lap, pull down. And then as soon as I started talking to him, he's like, oh yeah. So like, usually they have these little things, but they ran out, so you can just go over there. You said. Everybody is so helpful. Don't make us. I used to be the person who used to walk around having an RBF, a resting bitch face. The same face that I usually have in the gym when I'm locked in doing a set of squats, curls, whatever. I used to walk around with that face all the time. And most people, they don't want to approach that, you know? Like I can't believe how many people now approach me because, well, I focus on making myself more approachable. And the only thing I really had to do was smile more. Not only, I mean, there are literally, I'm learning there are literally, I don't want to say hundreds because I wouldn't be able to think of all 100, but there are many benefits to smiling more. Number 1, you look more approachable. People are going to want to come up and talk to you. People are going to think you're a happier person, more fun to hang out with, just off the fact that you're smiling all the time. Number 2, if you're smiling all the time, when you smile, I said this in one of my previous videos, but you're going to have, your brain is going to automatically release the happy endorphins associated with smiling. You know, things like oxytocin, I want to say serotonin, but I don't think that sounds right. I don't know. I'm gonna have to brush up on my endorphin textbook. Anyway, you're automatically gonna release the chemicals that make you happy. Maybe not to the highest degree imaginable, but far more than if you weren't smiling or if you were frowning. And another thing that I want to talk about is people ask me, Dillon, why do you have so many gym memberships? Well, number 1, the money I save by not going through the drive-thru when I get off of work, I like to spend on gym memberships. I have 3. Well, I had 2. I'm about to add a 3rd. I got Planet. They're cheap, right across the street. Really, I mean, I love to just pop in and hit a back day. They're cool when I'm like short on time. because it's never really crowded. I can usually do what I need to do unless I need to do... Actually, I can do a leg day at Planet now because they actually have squat racks. And I only pay $15 a month. So the Purple Gym, at least near me, they're leveling up. Number 2, I got my home gym that I go to the most often, Club Fitness. They have great equipment. It's huge. You know, even when it's crowded, I can still always hit a lift. And then, well, I want to say, like, I'm missing something that they're... Oh, yeah. Club has pool, sauna, basketball court, all the amenities. Now, Apex, this place is like a bodybuilder's paradise. If you want cool, badass lighting, posing rooms, a whole room for calisthenics, a whole room with heavy-ass dumbbells, then Apex has got it. Now, these 3 places, they all have different things, different benefits to me. Planet's close. Club Fitness, I've just been going there a long time, and once again, they have the sauna, and they have all the arsenal equipment that I really like. Now, Apex, they have badass lighting. They also have all the badass equipment they like. Now, they are missing a couple things that I like a pullover machine. Actually, maybe they haven't. I just haven't found it yet. But it's different equipment, you know? Like, you could argue that Apex is better than Club, but somebody could be like, no, because they don't have the hammer strength row, so this one's better. You know, at the end of the day, if you just had access to one, I would be able... If I just had access to one, I would be able to build the same physique. But one last thing I want to mention before I go is that these gyms, these places that we call gyms, they aren't just buildings with weights in them. You know, they aren't just built on 4 walls, a roof, and a foundation. They're built on the people that go there. I was going to leave today, and I go to pull out of my parking spot, and I'm like, that's one of my coworkers' trucks. No fucking way. So I just finished hitting legs, and I saw his truck, and I was like, I'm gonna go back inside and just say what's up. So I went back inside, and they showed me a whole nother room that I didn't know about. They showed me the posing rooms, and then when they showed me the posing rooms, I was like, all right, while we're here, hit your favorite pose. I'm gonna give you some tips. You know, double bi. They did the classic arms down here when you really want your arms up here. That way you get more of that V taper. Also, another thing I noticed is that when your arm, it's a bad example because I'm in long sleeves, but when your arms are up here, they look bigger because you kind of compare them more to the size of your head compared to here where they're compared more to the rest of my body, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a small optical illusion you can use in order to make your arms look bigger. Now also a lat spread. Maybe I can show y'all sitting down if I put the camera back enough. But they all put their They all put their hands way too low. I'm like, no. It's more like belly button level, but behind your back. And then you go forward. You gotta roll your shoulders forward because that's how you poke out your lats, and then kind of flex them like you're doing the same motion as a pull down. Now, it's like, Dillon, why would you waste your time going back in there and just helping, well, your friends? And to me, it's not a waste of time. To me, if I didn't have anybody do that for me when I was on my weight loss journey. Now, of course, not all of my coworkers are on a weight loss journey. My friend Christian is actually trying to bulk at the moment, but still, I have knowledge and experiences that they don't yet have. And for me to be the person to give it to them, it makes me feel good. And it makes them feel good too, because they're like, holy shit, dude, I learned something today, you know? And I get to say pretty much the same thing. I get to say, I helped them learn something today. Helping others, see, everybody has this facade that we're all in a competition against each other. People would say most of the time, Dillon, why are you helping them? You know, what if they become better than you? I hope they do. You know? But in reality, nobody will ever be better than me. Nobody will ever be better than you. You know? Maybe one day in another life they do get bigger than me. Maybe it's this life where all of a sudden I teach them some tricks and they're mass monsters. But I live for that. Because when they become mass monsters, they get to still look at me and be like, Dillon was one of the catalysts that helped me get there. Dillon did not gatekeep information and allowed me to achieve another level that I never thought was possible. See, we're not in a competition against each other. The only competition is always the previous version of yourself. And I'm somebody who likes to, well, help people realize that and help people realize how to become a better version of themselves. Because I did it in a drastic way. It changed my life. And I want other people to feel the same experience. Or at least something fairly similar, you know, considering where they came from. But that's all I got for today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.